first speaker this morning is Rick Montes, and we'll be very short on introductions and long on substance. So Rick Montes is the representative from the 10th Amendment Center, State Chapter Coordinator for the 10th Amendment Center. Rick, come on up.
Hello, my name is Rick Montes. I'm the New York State Coordinator for the 10th Amendment Center, and it's an honor and a privilege to be here today to discuss the Constitution, state sovereignty, and in particular the 10th Amendment. My friends get a laugh at me sometimes because I carry around a tattered Constitution in my pocket, and I use it from time to time to settle a debate or make a point about some unconstitutional bill about to be passed by Congress. What troubles me is that so many people I speak to have no clue to what's in this document. But even sadder is that people who agree with me, who call themselves constitutionalists or conservatives, also have little understanding of this document. It's nice to show up at rallies and wave our "Don't Tread on Me" flags and support the Tea Parties and scream that Obama is destroying our Constitution. But how many really understand what is being destroyed? As a constitutionalist or a conservative, what is it that we are conserving? What does it mean? What type of government are we supposed to have? We can't rely on the feds telling us. We need to know for ourselves. So let me give you my definition. A constitutionalist and a 10th Amendment supporter believe that the U.S. Constitution is arguably the greatest political document man could devise. But we must remember that long before this Constitution was ratified, there were 13 sovereign states who had their own constitutions. And in these constitutions there contained things like freedom of religion and the right to keep and bear arms. They fought a war and gave their lives to stop an all-powerful central government from dictating to them how they should live. So when discussing a new form of government, they made sure that any created would not be so powerful to become a tyranny. They were jealous of their powers. So as our founding fathers would have wanted us, and as conservatives, we demand that the federal government stay out of our lives. How dare the federal government interfere with New Yorkers if we wish to have a death penalty for rapists and murderers? How dare they tell us we can't ban homosexual marriages? California's people were just overturned by a federal judge. How dare they go against the will of the people? How dare they tell us we can't say a prayer in our public schools? How dare they tell us that we can't ban abortions? How dare they tell us we can't grow medical marijuana to ease the pain and suffering of cancer patients? How dare they tell us we can't own any type of firearm we choose?
Who do they think they are?
How dare they? But there's a flip side to all of this. Just as the federal government can't dictate to us on whether we want the death penalty, to own a firearm, say a prayer, or execute criminals, we can't expect the government to step in and overturn the people's will if they choose to allow abortions, ban firearms, or allow homosexual marriages. If the people elect state politicians who vote to allow abortions, then shame on us. If we allow cowardly politicians to ban firearms, once again, shame on us. We can't ask the federal government to step in. It's simply none of their business. The Founding Fathers debated this issue quite thoroughly, and there were many in attendance at the convention who wished to have us become a consolidated national government. James Madison repeatedly tried to grant the federal government the power to negate all state laws, but he was soundly defeated each time. And in the end, we were given a federal republic that was made up of individual and sovereign states. And these states delegated, limited, and enumerated powers to the federal government. And to be certain that there was no mistake, we have the 10th Amendment. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. It can't be much clearer. If it's not in here, it's left to us and the people. The states. As a sovereign people, we must be responsible for our own lives. We don't want a politician from California or Massachusetts or New Jersey dictating to us on how to live our lives and spend our money. We have enough inept politicians here to worry about. There was a time in our country's history that the Supreme Court declared that blacks were property, and they upheld fugitive slave laws. Slaves who escaped to a free state were returned to their masters. But brave politicians in states like New York and Massachusetts said no, we won't return them. They defied the Supreme Court and the Congress, who were making decisions contrary to their consciences. It was called nullification. Today we need brave politicians who will defend the people's right to live free from government tyranny. But we start right here in our own backyard. We must elect people who will defend the U.S. Constitution by not allowing that Babylon on the Potomac to trample on our sovereignty. We must restore the freedom to live as we choose. We may not like the laws that our state passes, but it's easier to rid ourselves, if we choose, of these tyrants. And in the end, if we can't, we can always move. But if the federal government and the dishonest politicians trample on our freedom, where are we going?
I'm sorry.
So I will finish with a quote from one of my heroes, Patrick Henry, who said, "The Constitution is not an instrument for the government to restrain the people. It is an instrument for the people to restrain the government." We must be vigilant, and we must know what is in here to defend. If we don't, who will? Thank you.
Hey, great speech. Thank you. God bless you.